Hi everyone. So good to have you guys all on here with me today. I'm gonna wait till a few more people hop on here. I have quite a few new people in my Facebook group, so welcome. My name is Morgan Danielle and I'm a life coach. I specialize in helping women rewire their minds after trauma and release toxic relationship patterns. Hey Judy, so good to have you on. So if you're here with me, go ahead and drop a comment, drop a like, and if you are watching the replay, then go ahead and hashtag replay. So the theme for today is I did a post the other day and asked, what do you guys want to learn about? What do you guys want to hear about? And I got quite a few comments on letting go of the pain and the hurt. And I know that's kind of general, but when we're letting go of these hard feelings, typically what happens is we feel we've been caused pain or hurt by somebody else or by an experience. And so we're going to talk about letting go of that and being able to heal from that so it doesn't run our lives, right? And so in these experiences where we feel this pain and this hurt, it can come from being cheated on. Maybe somebody led you on and then dumped you out of nowhere. Maybe it's pain from childhood or family members that you're holding on resentments to. Maybe somebody betrayed you or broke your heart. Maybe it's grief, which is something that I'm currently working on healing from. And so, I've had so many experiences where I have been hurt and people have betrayed me and they've hurt me. And so if you guys are going through this, I'm going to try not to get super emotional, but my heart really goes out to you. This is why I do this work in the first place. Hey, Morgan, so glad to have you here. This is why I do this work in the first place, because I know what it feels like to have this pain and this hurt and kind of having it run your life, right? It feels like every day we're having to fight this uphill battle to suppress it, push it away, to be happy, to find joy again when we have all this internal turmoil going on. And it's really hard. It's so hard to live life like that and actually enjoy life when we just have I don't know about you guys, but I hold it here and I hold it here when I feel pain and hurt and betrayal. And so, in these experiences, I can share with you guys a couple experiences that I've had where I've had to let go of the pain and the hurt that somebody caused me. And hey Sandra, one of the worst pains that I've ever felt in my life is when my daughter's father left us for somebody else. And so I'm already getting emotional. Okay, so clearly this pain, you're gonna be feeling it. No matter, I always say that overcoming these things, time doesn't matter. Time has nothing to do with this. Sure, time can help, but you have to heal this in a certain way. There's a process that needs to be done in order to heal and let go. Okay, so, I used to cope in all the wrong ways. I would always turn to drugs or alcohol or, boys to fill that void or to soothe myself from this pain or hurt that was caused by an experience or somebody else, instead of letting myself feel it and process it. And when we do that, when we suppress it or we don't acknowledge it or we just try to push it away or we try to get away from it, what happens is it comes back so much stronger, and it actually comes back it can come back as a physical illness. I've worked with so many women that have autoimmune disorders from being in constant fight or flight mode from childhood, and when they're in these painful experiences, when their stress is heightened, their symptoms become worse. And so, suppressing these things can come out in physical illness, resentment leads to cancer, stress can lead to autoimmune disorders. There's so many ways that our emotions manifest themselves in our bodies. And so if you are feeling this and you're holding on to this pain and this hurt, then it can come out in physical illnesses. It can come out in relationship patterns, like I'm sure if you're here with me, you've experienced, whether that's being in romantic relationships with, hey Kristen, being in romantic relationships with narcissistic people, people pleasing, not having boundaries, low self-esteem, self-worth, a lack of confidence. There's a lot of ways that these things can manifest themselves in our lives. And so when we're feeling this pain and hurt now, we have to get ahead of it, and we have to really acknowledge it and allow ourselves to feel it instead of running away from it. This is the most important thing that we can do in this moment. So if you are feeling pain or hurt from an experience or a relationship or somebody hurt you, the first step is to acknowledge it and validate yourself. So often in childhood, we don't get validated. A lot of the times, if we have old school parents or caregivers, and I don't say this to blame anyone, you'll hear me say this all the time. This is just for awareness, to know where these things come from. We don't get validated in childhood. If we are crying, we're often told to stop crying. If we're sad, we're basically told to get over it or go in our room until we change our attitude. And so we learn that our feelings aren't okay, and that we have to get over it, that we have to push past it, move forward, and we're not allowed to feel what we feel. If we're angry, if we're having a tantrum, we are suppressed and told we're not allowed to do that. We'll get spankings. We get punished. And so when we grow up, we think that is the norm, is to suppress our emotions, push it away, try to get away from it, and just change our attitude. And so the best thing that we can do for ourselves is to feel into those feelings and validate it. If somebody has hurt you, if you're hurting in any way, the very first step is talking to yourself and being like, okay, how am I feeling right now? How am I feeling? We really want to get in touch with our feminine right now. We are very much masculine in the way that we handle things in this day and age. Everything's just pushing forward, moving forward, push, push, push. And we need to get in touch with our divine feminine, which is slowing down, allowing ourselves to feel, being in touch with our bodies. And so telling yourself, asking yourself, how do I feel? How is this making me feel? You can say, it makes me feel angry, resentful, hurt, sad, depressed, revengeful. So get in touch with that. Allow yourself to feel this. Your feelings are not bad. They're not wrong. All they are messengers. They're showing you what's going on. It's showing you, they're messengers. They're telling you when something's wrong, or they're telling you about a situation. And so being able to get in touch with that, journal it if you need to. How am I feeling? Write it at the top of your journal, and just journal that is going to be really, really helpful. And allowing yourself to feel validated. A lot of the times, like I said, we never felt validated in childhood, or we don't feel validated now. And so we have to reparent ourselves. We have to validate how we're feeling and know that it's okay. Otherwise, if we don't feel validated, we are going to play this over and over and over in our minds. And I'm sure if you're watching this, you have experienced this, where you just play this scenario over and over, and you're like, I have the right here, but you don't believe it, or that person's not validating you. So you continue to go over the story over and over again of why they hurt you, how it hurts you, going over and over, just replaying this in your head, trying to convince yourself or trying to convince the other person why, you're in pain. And so here, when we have self-validation, we don't need that validation from others. It would be nice to have it. But if we can just stay confident and allowing ourselves to feel how we feel and saying that it's okay, that we're allowed to feel this way. We have every right to feel this way. No matter how you feel, you have every right to feel that way. No matter what anyone else says. If somebody hurts your feelings or they do something to you and they don't believe that it was wrong, it doesn't mean that your feelings are wrong. You're allowed to have that feeling. Nobody else can tell you how to feel or that you shouldn't feel a certain way. If you feel that way, you feel that way for a reason, and it's trying to tell you something, and so we want to listen. And so being able to validate ourselves and saying, it's okay that you feel this way. It's normal that you feel this way. You're allowed to feel this way. I am validating my own feelings. So those are going to be the first two most important things. And then when we have these overwhelming thoughts, these big thoughts, these angry thoughts, we want to forgive our thoughts. Because when we're able to forgive, literally just the simple act of forgiveness of that thought, noticing that we are feeling angry, resentful, hurt, whatever it is, we're just simply saying, okay, like I'm recognizing this and I forgive this thought. That's going to allow you to move forward. I've used this process that I'm telling you, I've used with all of my clients. It's a portion of what I teach them. And I've used it for myself to overcome so many heartaches, so much pain. And so I'm really grateful that that I've had those experiences so I can share this with you. And just these simple little mindset shifts do make a difference. So they may seem simple, but allow that, like, they're simple, but they hold so much power. And so recognize the power that your words have by simply saying, I forgive this thought. That is a very simple but powerful technique. So you want to let yourself feel the feelings, validate your feelings, forgive yourself for feeling this way. Not that it's wrong or anything, but just say, okay, I forgive this thought, so that you can move forward. And then what you want to do is, I'm gonna put this for whoever wants it, the emotional guidance scale. If you guys have not heard of this emotional guidance scale, I learned this from Abraham Hicks. And when we feel like there's the emotional guidance scale is a range of emotions from the highest vibration emotions to the lowest vibration emotions. When we feel like hopeless or despair, that is the lowest vibration feeling that we can have. And we can't get to a high vibration feeling like joy and happiness if we're all the way down here at despair and hopelessness. And so what we want to do is we want to easily move up this emotional guidance scale. And so if we're feeling hopelessness or despair, all we have to do is move up one emotion to anger. Right? So you don't have to take yourself from hopeless to despair, because it's too far of a gap. It's not going to work. It's going to feel too far away, and you're not going to believe in it. And so just moving up the guidance scale one by one, if you're feeling hopeless and despair, moving up to anger or resentment. Like we just have to move up just a little bit, and we keep moving up that scale. And I'm gonna share this emotional guidance scale with you guys, either in messages or in the comments. But continue to move up that scale, and you can reach for a better feeling thought. And so once you start moving up the guidance scale, you're finding different emotions to feel, reaching for that next best feeling thought. So if you're hopeless and despair, nobody's going to ever love me, I'm going to be alone forever, all I do is get hurt by people, this is hopeless, I feel hopeless. It's not worth it. We can move up, and it sounds silly, but we can move up by saying, okay, I'm angry at this person. I'm angry at this person for hurting me. That anger is better than despair. So if we can then shift our focus to anger, and then we can shift our focus to the next best feeling thought. So you want to move up from that. And this seems kind of obvious, but doing more of, like, when we are really heavily in these feelings, and then we move to, we've done the first three, we've recognized the feelings, validated them, forgiving the thought, and then we move on to moving up the guidance scale. Then we want to be able to get off the subject. We want to do something that brings us joy, because if we are continuously in those tumultuous feelings, we're going to stay in that low vibration, and we want to be able to bring ourselves out of it. And so we just have to bring more joy into our lives. So whether that's hanging out with a friend, whether that is hanging out with your dog, or going on a walk, whatever it is that brings you more joy, start doing more of that. We have to counteract these feelings, these negative feelings, and I hate saying negative, these feelings that don't feel good to us, with positive ones. Like, we have to crowd out the not so good feelings and start bringing more joy into our lives, because we need to start teaching. Our emotions get addictive, and so we have to start training our minds how to feel better and start having more thoughts, because the more you reach for a better feeling thought, the more you do something that brings you joy, we're actually rewiring the neural pathways in our brain to have better experiences, to feel good more often. And so once you do that, once you've gotten off the subject and you've gotten out of these really heavy, deep feelings, we can look at what we learned from this pain and this hurt. What I learned when my daughter's father left us was that needed to happen in order for me. Like, I wouldn't be here with you guys today if that experience didn't happen. As painful as it was, and as painful as it still is for me to think about it and hone in on it and think about, him wanting to be with somebody else instead of us. It allows us, like, when we look back and we look at the lesson, it can become really, really clear. It always teaches us something. Anytime we have contrast, anytime we have pain, anytime we have hurt, anytime we have a traumatic experience, there is always something to be learned. And when we start looking at it like that, instead of this is happening to me, and simple mindset shift, this is happening for me, I'm learning something here, this is going to benefit me in some way, you're going to get the benefit eventually. And so when we start thinking of it, okay, what can I learn here? What this does is, when we experience contrast, when we experience pain and hurt and turmoil, it shows us what we don't want, so we can be clear on what we do want. Every single time I've gotten my heart broken, every time I've been cheated on, or I've been lied to, or somebody's rejected me, or I felt abandoned, or somebody did something horrible, it showed me what I don't want. And so I then became clear on, okay, I will never settle for that kind of person again. I will be aware of the red flags. I will be more assertive with my boundaries. It's taught me these things, and we can look, okay, I now know that I don't want to be wishy-washy in my boundaries. I now know that I want assertive boundaries. I now know that I don't want to date somebody that is that lies and that steals and that cheats. I want to date somebody that is kind and caring and honest. And so we're learning through these experiences. And so one of the last steps is forgiving the person or experience that hurt you. I have a training on this because it's really painful. When we think about it, we're like, I don't want to freaking forgive that person. They did me wrong. They, ruined my life. They hurt me. They betrayed me. We don't want to forgive them in the beginning. And that's why I have all these steps first to heal, because when we can get out of these deep emotions, and when we can recognize this as a blessing instead of something that's happening to us, it's going to be easier to forgive this person or this experience. I'm sorry if you guys can hear my dog in the background. She's having separation anxiety. So forgiving that person, and you don't have to, like, forgiving them doesn't excuse the behavior. If you guys want this training, just let me know in the comments and I'll tag you in it. It doesn't excuse anyone's behavior to forgive them. Forgiveness is not for the other person. It's for you to have peace and to move on. How you move on and let go is forgiveness. I had to forgive, God, all the people that hurt me. I was so betrayed a couple years ago by my daughter's paternal grandparents that tried to get 50-50 custody of my daughter after her father died. And I was so resentful and I was so hurt and betrayed. And the biggest thing that I had to do was forgive them. And it wasn't easy. This is something that we're constantly having to do. I have to forgive them still every day because it still affects me. And so every time I have to interact with them, I have to forgive them. It's an ongoing process to forgive the people that hurt you if you are still struggling. And so I also have, I made my private clients a cord cutting meditation. It's very, very powerful. And I want to be able to share this with you guys and help you guys heal, even if you aren't one of my clients. And so I'm also, comment me in the comments below if you want me to send you this cord cutting meditation, because we need to cut the energetic ties with the person or the situation that hurt us so that we no longer have the energy within us, so that we can let them go and let the situation go. This cord cutting meditation has been so powerful for myself and for my clients, and it helps you cleanse your energy and allows you to detach from the pain, detach from that person, because when we get in contact with people and we have relationships with people and have relationships and experiences, other people's energies are tied to us and our energy is tied to them. And so we're taking our energy back and we're cutting their energy off from us. And so it's so powerful and has helped me immensely, has helped my clients immensely. And when we do this cord cutting meditation, we are going in with the intention of releasing this person, releasing this hurt, releasing the pain. All we really have to do is begin to be willing to let go of this pain and this hurt, be willing to forgive. Like I said, it's not something that happens right off the bat, but it's a practice that we have, and all we have to do to start activating this healing is saying that you're willing. If you can't say, I forgive this person, say, I'm willing to forgive this person. I'm willing to let go. I'm willing to let go of this pain and this hurt. I'm willing to heal from this. Our willingness, literally just saying that, so many simple things, mindset shifts, can make a massive, massive difference. And so that is how you let go of this pain and this hurt that has been attached to you and that you've been dealing with and that you've been going through with these situations, whether they're happening right here and right now, or maybe they happened a year ago, maybe they happened 10 years ago. It doesn't matter how long it's been. This process that I shared with you just now is going to be really, really helpful for regardless of where you're at on this journey. If there's still pain there, apply this process and let me know if this was helpful for you all. I do have a client here in a couple of minutes, and so I'm hopping off. But again, if you want the cord cutting meditation and you want the emotional guidance system scale, comment me in the comments below and I'll send it to you, to all who want it. So I hope you all have an awesome rest of your day. Bye, everyone.